Go. Hey guys, want to welcome everyone to this edition of actually our new edition podcast, and it is a pleasure to be able to be doing this with Miss J and Andrew and Stevie Street. He's running a little late. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. Happy to be here for New Edition.
Almost, if you can't find Andrew, he is the seventh member of the group, so you can see him embedded into into the picture there. Oh goodness, what was it like for you guys? I mean, Andrew. What does this album mean to you?
This album. I mean, as you can see, I got like my whole like celebratory swag going on. Like this album was like it was heavenly. It was like divine. Like I mean, New Edition getting back together. We waited so long. 88, 96, almost 97. Like in all six. Man, this album was everything.
What about you, Miss J?
Yeah, they could have sang a recipe and I would have been happy. I was waiting for them so long. I was after Word to the Mother. I was like waiting, thinking it was going to happen then, but I was happy with this one. It was at the time I was healing from a car accident, and this right here helped me heal. So,
Wow,
it meant everything to me.
you know what yeah, as much as it came out, and I would say that it came out the same day as Blackstreet's Another Level. And it started higher. I used to be so geeky back in the day, reading Billboard magazine um, all the time, reviewing all of this stuff. And they came out at the same time, and it was charted much higher, and it slowly fell away, while Blackstreet just kept going and going. And so, yes, they were both on tour on the same Home Again tour. But after years of reflection, I'll say something controversial being on a New Jack podcast that actually I think it was a better album than Another Level, but it just was poorly marketed and managed by MCA. And it should have sold 20 to 10, 20 times more than it did. But it just got, I mean, I'm going through the songs, I'm thinking, look at this song, this video. And I would say, because at the end of what we're going to review each of the songs, and at the end we're going to pick, if we were A&R in the album, what would have been our first single, second single, third, fourth, and our final single. I would say some of the songs, the videos were so poor that it really impacted, and so there's a lot about that I'll discuss. Andrew, you seem to be nodding with me as well.
One More Day is a tragedy. Like I feel like that's a tragedy. I think Something About You was a tragedy. As far as the video, songs did not deserve those. Like what? So yeah, we're gonna have fun because I don't think what you said was controversial at all. It was completely undermanaged for sure.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you have to say about Something About You, because I love that song.
Oh, the song. The song is dope. I'm just talking about the video. The video didn't do it justice. That's what Namdi was saying. No, I love that song. We'll talk. Well, no, I love that song.
Yeah, we'll talk. Did it come? Did it have a video?
Something only about in the UK, and it was just like I think it was just like a bunch of like. I mean, I saw on YouTube, it's just a bunch of like clips from all their other videos. Like it just had like a little bit of Hit Me Off, a little bit of One More Day. It wasn't even synced to the music. It was just like a celebration clip thing. And I saw it hit MTV Base, which I believe is a European thing, but it never came out in the US. There was a remix, as you guys know, though, which is on the back of One More Day. But no, that song was perfection. It was.
Okay. Stevie, how you doing, sir?
Good evening, chap.
You seem different today. Are you on your phone or something?
Yeah, I got my phone because amazingly there was a Windows update that just crashed my PC. I'm trying to reboot my computer now and log back in.
Okay.
So I thought I'd join on my phone for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Technical issues sorted, but better late than never. And good evening to you all out there. Happy February, happy new month to you all. For those that are listening, watching live around the world. Yeah, it's great to be back.
It definitely is. The son of soul and blues, Rock Lightning, he said he waited forever for the album, and he was at the Madison Square Garden Home Again tour with Blackstreet. Um, I know, Andrew, you went to the Home Again tour. Miss J, were you old enough to go on that tour?
I didn't go.
I have a caveat though, man. I have a caveat. First of all, Son of Soul and Blues, I am jealous of you because there was 2 legs to the Home Again tour. We'll get to this. The first leg, of course, had all 6. The second leg, and I missed it. I don't remember what happened. I think I didn't have a car at the time, so I couldn't get my way to LA to see it. But the second leg, I did have a car and I drove down. But the second leg only had 4 members.
What?
Yes, Mike and Bobby had left. However, what I saw, believe it or not, was special. Why? Because the first leg was basically a few Home Again songs, a few Heartbreak songs, but the solo acts. The second leg, and it's a shame, I hope somebody has it recorded, was a true Home Again show. So they did songs like Shop Around. They did songs like Tighten It Up. They did songs like One More Day. They did songs like How Do You Like Your Love Served? It was, and you'll never see that ever again. And for me, what it was, I'm getting chills just talking about it. The One More Day choreography was so crisp. It's just Ricky in front and the other 3 just like, and all 3 of them can move. Ronnie, Ralph, and John. Anyways, but it was it was perfection. They had like the yellow tops, like white pants. It was that. So I realized I saw something that was like extremely rare, and I'll never have it again.
Stevie, did they come to the UK on that to promote the Home Again tour?
I don't think they did. I don't remember them coming. I don't think they've been to the UK since about 1985 when they did Candy Girl. I can't even recall the last time they're in the UK.
Wow. I would say this, that everyone even when I was in Milwaukee, 96, I was in college, which is university, and when I got the tickets with my then girlfriend, and I was massive Teddy, of course. So here, my first time seeing Teddy, and it was Keith was supposed to be on the tour, but he didn't. He was off sick. So 702 opened up, and they just came out. So I was like, "Who's this little kid?" So I just didn't even. They sang their song. I didn't even. I mean, I'm love Mila now, but it's funny back then. Just didn't even think anything. Then Blackstreet came out, did an hour. It felt like they headlined. They had this big props and they were singing everything. They did the No Diggity Billie Jean version. It was awesome. I was like, okay, I can go home now. I've seen Blackstreet. And then New Edition. It was all 6 of them. And then they come out to do their Candy Girl stuff. Then they go away. Then all individually. So you got your Bobby, you got your Ralphs, you got your Johnny, you got your BBD. Awesome. Then they all come out. It was, I was like, wow, they didn't even need anyone to open up. It was just awesome. So Bobby was still controllable. He was so controllable on that leg of the tour. And I was blessed to see it. Somebody commented when I put the video of them on Saturday Night Live singing, what was the track? It was You Don't Have to Worry. No, I think it was Hit Me Off. And you could see somebody said Bobby's already acting as a solo artist.
Yes, on SNL, dude. Because literally they all get down at the bottom. At the very end, they all go down, and he just stays standing like this. Yeah. I don't know why my video's slow, but anyway, it was a little weird that he took off his shirt too. I mean, he took off his jacket.
He took off his jacket. Oh goodness! Sylvester said that and he came to the UK. They did a record signing at Virgin Records and played a basketball game in Brixton. All 6 of them were in attendance. Sylvester, if you can tell us what year that was, it'd be interesting to know. It'd be interesting to know what year that was. But yeah, I mean, Miss J, I mean, the album came out in '96. When did you really get the album, and what was your thoughts when it came out?
I was live. I got it. I was teen, but I got it, and I was happy. I just remember though, they could have sang anything. I think I would have been happy about it because I was just first of all, I'm a Ronnie girl. Okay, I love Ronnie DeVoe, and I just think he has great stage presence. So I won't get into that, but I love Ronnie. So I was just excited, and on this album, I felt like they gave Ronnie more chances to speak, because Michael usually does all the slow song, the talking for the slow songs, but they actually gave Ronnie leads on this one, like first verses and things like that. So I was just like so amped. And back then, I don't know if you remember, in here, this is the original. This was a CD. And there's a writing, he had this private line thing going on back then, where you can call RD's private line. So you could actually call, you would get somebody, and he had this contest to pick out how many songs did Ronnie DeVoe actually participate in, like talk or sing. That was the contest. And if you got the amount right, you would call in, talk to somebody. It didn't sound like it was Ronnie. But I'm all you happy. Oh my God, it wasn't Ronnie. But he was like, how many songs do you think Ronnie's on? I must not won, because they never called me back. But you're supposed to figure out how many times you hear him on this. And I did that, and no call back. So that's when it first came out.
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
A lot of attention, but
Oh, goodness. Hey, everyone that's coming through the new one, Desi, Planner Girl, Tiffany, welcome. Please comment throughout this. We'll call some of the stuff out, and we want you to be part of this. And Sylvester said it was 96 when they came to the UK and did the signing for the CD. So that's interesting. Yes, I think for me, I always did believe that they should have capitalized on Word to the Mother, did it as a quick album, then go back and all do their second solo albums.
Yeah.
And then just finally, I did think if BBD hadn't succeeded, I think we would have had a very different story about New Edition. I think that BBD had to succeed for us to, because Johnny was always going to succeed, and Ralph was always going to do his thing. But if BBD, and Bobby was already a superstar, but if BBD hadn't succeeded, I think you think about in sync, I think you needed all the elements to succeed for us to see them as this mega group as they were. So Poison was a massive thing, and I think it laid the foundation for New Edition being, in my lifetime, I wasn't around with the Jacksons and Jackson 5, but to me this was the pinnacle of R&B groups. Okay, I thought Andrew was going to say something before we moved on.
The only thing I'll say really quick is I actually live in Vegas, and one of the reasons I moved to Vegas was I had a feeling the residency. So when it was announced, I was like, see, because everyone was like, why are you moving to Vegas? Like, why are you moving to Vegas? I'm like, I had so many reasons, and that was one of them. So the fact that it actually happened was like, man. Anyway, so you're gonna have a great time. The new one, I saw him last year, but I've seen him so many times. But it's still a really tight show.
Okay, so guys, what we're gonna do, as Stevie is rebooting his computer, we're gonna go through all 11 songs, and we're going to get a chance to review each of the songs, and then at the end, we're going to, if we were to. For those who are just joining us, one of the things we've said is that actually the album only did 2 million copies, and it should have done at least 20 million. And I think it was MCA didn't promote the album well. The videos were really bad, and so if we were the A&R of the album, what would be the 5 singles we would have released first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and to have done a better job. So what you do have is you've got myself and Stevie, who are great music fans, but we're nowhere as dedicated to the cause as Miss J and Andrew. So there's sandwiched between us. So Miss J was going to start us off with each song, myself and then Stevie, and then Andrew will bring the crescendo of each track. So Miss J, track number 1, Ooh Yay, It Feels So Good.
Well, I was very happy to have them back, right? And this first song, that's what I'm talking about. Ronnie DeVoe. He did the first verse on that. And I was just excited. I feel like because of BBD doing so well, they gave Ronnie a chance to say more. And this one, I'm like, oh, as a fan of his, yes, let Ronnie speak. Yes. So this song right here, listening back to it now, I feel a little differently about it, but I was excited about the song. Now I feel like it's not the best song on it, but I still appreciate it because New Edition, they're going to perform anything great. They do. They'll take the material and they do what they have to do to it. So, oh yeah, it feels so good. I feel great to hear the song for the very first time. So,
yeah, I think. Oh, and then Delum Dovi. Okay, I don't know.
Blendo.
Blendo. Thanks. Blendo says the best opening track of any album ever. I think it's what I would say is that it's a track that all six of them sang, and it was a really good opening track where you got all six of them singing, starting with Ronnie, with Bobby. I think in one's case, I would say that this was the Ricky Bell Bobby Brown album because Ricky and Bobby, Bobby was Bobby, but Ricky really took his time. But it was a definitely a great opening track, and Jimmy and Terry to start it off was definitely a good one. And yeah, I think what if they had told Jimmy and Terry we want this to be the lead single, I think they could have done it a little bit better. If they said it's just going to be an album filler, I think they said it was just good. So I do wonder if they had, if because it's a nice long opening track, and so yeah, that was what I thought about it. Stephen, Stevie.
Pretty much what the pair of you've both said. I thought it was a strong opening track, similar to the Any Heartbreak album, where you've got that opening live track to let everybody know that they're here, that they're back. It's got hard hitting funk in it. Dum 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 bum dum dum. Jam and Lewis there bringing the funk. I love the way it ends with the crowd and the drop down, and like you say, they can all sing on it. I mean, I probably missed this part of the conversation, but why did he come back in 1996? I remember that's the first time I ever went to the States, and I got there and it was like, whoa, this is the New Edition album. Where's this come from? It's like, 8 years since the last album. Was this the first time we could actually get them all together? I don't know. Is this why it came out then?
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, Miss J, any thoughts about why it took them that long?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, to me, it was just because of the solo acts. I think they were all like really invested in their own thing, and I mean that's the short answer. I want to keep it going, but I really think it was just everyone thought they could do better by themselves, and that's the problem, unfortunately.
Yeah, as I said, I think LaSalle and MCA missed a big trick. Do your first solo albums, come together, even if Bobby didn't want to join, that's fine. Go back out again and build from there. But there was no, I don't think there was any master plan. But yeah,
The New Edition story, it did reflect on some of their lives at the time of it, just before this album, where Bobby was kind of all over the place with Whitney. A couple of guys looked like one of them was, all the money had gone. Was it like a money thing? Did you think, what we need to do is we need the money? It looked like Bobby didn't want to actually be part of it. I'm just going back, reflecting back to the New Edition story. It's like, bring them along, let's get the album done. A bit like Guy reforming for a tour, and they're only there because the money's on the table, so they took it.
Yeah, but everyone might. But I think Johnny was he kept coming up with successful albums on Motown. Now I think Motown probably didn't. I don't know if they promoted it as well, but he had solid albums. BBD's Hootie Mac was a disappointment commercially, and I don't think Ralph's second album really did the numbers as well. And the Bobby album, they spent a lot of money on the Bobby album, and it also didn't shift the numbers that it needed. And he did his tour, but I think it was one of those things where they told Bobby, this was like Michael Jackson coming back with the Jacksons. It will help you put some money on the table, and then you can build from there. And he probably thought it's a good idea. But I
I
wish
think
they
what I
had.
was
Go
happy
ahead.
about is that it came out in 1996 instead of like 98, 99, where the R&B sound had changed a lot. And I don't think it would have been as good. I don't think production-wise, I think the album would have been a lot slower. Obviously, you got the Timbaland sound by the late 90s, that Shakespeare sound. I've just got, for me, I just remember after that, and I've said this on previous podcasts, after 96, there was a bit of a nosedive in the quality of R&B. I just noticed the change, dramatic change in 97. For me, 96 was the last great year, the 90s for R&B for me. But again, that's
Fascinating.
another podcast debate. That is another podcast debate.
Here's what I'll say to that. I know I've heard that "On Bended Knee" by Boyz II Men was originally meant for New Edition. I've heard that somewhere, and it kind of reminds me because like that. Oh God, give me a reason. I'm down on bed, helplessly in love. I hear that kind of like in that little second part of it. So I think Jam and Lewis were trying to do something even back then, and It's Going Down. The name of Ralph Tresvant's album was about It's Going Down. Like we're reuniting. The problem was that album came out 2 years before '96. But if I may, I'd love to jump into my thoughts on.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it feels so good. So I love this song so much. I went out and I always am in a hunt for different mixes of the song, right, or re-edits. So here's an edit that I listen to all the time, just when I want to get hyped. Hope you guys can hear it. Can you hear that? Just come in, right? Here we go. Here comes Bonnie.
That's better. I like that one. That's even better.
And then you get everybody. It's just this. It was so okay. So you guys remember Janet's album? I forgot to look this up, but the Control video. It's like the third or fourth single in the campaign, right? It's like okay, we did What Have You Done For Me Lately? We've done Nasty, right? So now let's just like. I think Control may have come out after When I Think of You, but either way, it's like that song I think would have been like, okay, you know what? We've been gone for a while. We've had 2 or 3 hit singles. Now here's the concert video. And I would have absolutely taken footage from the Madison Square Garden show. I would have taken footage from other ones. That needed a concert video. It would have been like the second wind of the album to push even more sales and to announce to the world that we are not just any group. We are a super group. We are mother flipping New Edition. Do not get it twisted. In case you forgot, we're the best who ever did it. So, it's Avengers level music. I literally listen to that song and think of Thor and Iron Man and Cap. I think of all of them. It's like they're superheroes, So that song like has absolutely made an impact on my life, my identity, and my motivation. Oh man, yeah. It's like I'm still holding back, y'all. Like because that you guys, like it's ultimate. Just it's, whew, okay. You get the
point. Well, I'm glad you're starting slowly, but you're right. It could have and should have been. I said if they're told Jam and Lewis, this is going to be the first single, and I had an image of of Captain America being frozen. So they're waking them up, and then they said, "Wait, we need one more." Then they dig out Bobby, then they'll come out on stage, and they could have done a short movie, a 10-minute video.
And can I say something really quick? Like also like with Heartbreak and Don't Be Cruel, I felt like they were 2 kind of different sounds. I always wondered what would Bobby sound like back with New Edition. And then when he just comes out all like shouting and like, yo, come on, like hyping everybody up. But then how been so long, it's time to get in the groove. It's electric. It's literally like his voice is like lightning, like through the song. And like Ralph is perfect. Okay, I remember when Hit Me Off came out. We're gonna talk about it in a second. As the first single, we were like, you know, I remember my older, no, wait, hold on. My older brother runs in my room and says, come to the radio, come to the radio. And I run in and, oh yeah, It Feels So Good's playing on the radio, because they actually played about 5 songs on the radio at my radio station. And we were like, this is what we were waiting for, because you can hear all the harmonies. It's like, and all of them are on there. And that whole, for Ronnie, that whole echoey, we're coming back with the, you know, like at that little middle bridge part, like it was just, it's one of the most epic songs ever made, in my opinion, if you're an R&B fan. If it's New Edition at their peak. And someone said earlier, Bobby never sounded better vocally. I think I agree. I think that is Bobby's vocal prime. That's the Bobby I heard on the Bobby tour. That's how good he sounded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really
Okay. Yeah. Dame Davis, Stevie is he's having technical issues, but he'll because they're saying that your sound was really low, so they need to hear you. But yeah. But yes, really good. DJ Don Cruz says he's seen both legs of the tour. The second leg was a lot better. Wow.
That makes me feel so much better. DJ Don Cruz, we're talking, 19 years of regret. You've just evaporated. Wait, am I doing that right? The math right? Anyways, a long time. My math sucks. But 1996, now 30. Damn. Yeah, 29 years of regret. You've just evaporated. So I did see that leg. Thank you.
Okay, Miss J, hit me off.
I'm gonna disagree with you guys, because "Hit Me Off" was the best first single for the album. I loved it. It starts off with that 2 samples. It's called I Got to Open from the rap trio Black Moon and Bob James' Westchester Lady. So that's the beat, and that I Got to Open. That right there. The best. I thought that was the best song to introduce the album. I still get pumped to this day when I just hear "Got You Open, Got You." I'm screaming, I'm running, I'm doing the choreography a little bit that I got to see in the video. I mean, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Bobby did his thing on the song. Okay, all of them. Bobby was good on this album. I appreciate every pop, squat. Love it. Love the video. Perfect song to me.
It's very, you know, I would say that I think it was important to have their first single with all 6 of them featuring, which this song did. I think the video was a letdown. I think the whole spy stuff. It felt like a T-boot movie. You know, that type of. It felt like, you know, at Tubi, yeah, like a low budget type of low budget type of action movie. Okay, yeah, the bad guys are coming. They needed to play for their strength. Yeah. This was our first time seeing the 6 of them after God knows when. They could have just come out with, you know, them on stage, everyone running after them, and just really showcasing their dance move. And I think I felt disappointed with the video. I was excited seeing them, but I didn't think it showcased the dancing and everything. And actually, I think the reason why it you know, think of No Diggity, which came out the same time. So I'm actually tracking them, and No Diggity did much better because it was, you know, it wasn't, you know, it was just a different type of sound, different type of thing. Hit Me Off really just didn't capture the imagination. So it didn't really do well on the charts, which didn't really support the album. So I thought it was a decent song, but I didn't think it was as strong as it should be to launch such a powerful album. What's that?
No,
it grew on you. So it says it grew on you. It felt like an 8-year off. Yeah, it was lukewarm for me. Yeah. So for me, it just felt like, okay, you know, okay, nice, not bad. But it you know, you had New Edition 10, 20 years after they've come back. We need something heavy, and they had some tracks on this album for '96 that could have really hit him off. But yeah, but that's just my thought, but not disagree with you.
Not Stevie. A Tubi movie. Not a
movie.
Yeah, it was like, you know, we're trying to do an action. I think it's hard unless you had Hype Williams doing the action the directing, it's hard to really do that type of action sequence video for that kind of money. And I think they could have just, I wanted to see them perform. This is their strength. I wish we'd have had Brooke Payne coming out and says, come on, guys, it's back to work. The reason why Is It Isn't Love is so revered is because it shows them at their best, the choreography. This is what New Edition was about for everyone else. And we didn't get enough of that in that first video. And that was my thing. I wanted, that's their legacy stuff. And we just didn't get enough of it. I mean, I hate it. Okay, I won't even get to my, you don't have to, well, that's the next one. So, but anyway, yeah. Stevie.
If you think of Blackstreet and No Diggity and the way it was built around the Bill Withers sample with the guitar strum, well, this one was Hit Me Off was built around a Bob James track called Storm King. That bit at the beginning was dun, 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 dun. The beginning of the track, so it's all basically Bob James. So I thought both tracks were very timeless for that year. Both used tracks in R&B clubs. I was out literally 2 or 3 times a week in nightclubs in 1996, and I was just hearing those tracks all the time, just dancing to them. I thought it was just a fantastic, sophisticated, funky R&B track. Great for the time period. It still sounds good today. So yeah, you know, strong. It's a classic. It is a 90s classic for me. Classic R&B track, easily.
All right. And I think for me, you know, again, Heartbreak was the last thing we heard before they came out. So I think the Heartbreak album had lots of plush harmonies, especially on songs like You're Not My Kind of Girl. So when there's none of that in Hit Me Off, but there is an Oh Yeah, It Feels So Good, by the way. I was like, it grew on me. I felt like it was a lot like No Diggity, basically. That's how I saw it. But it was just like, okay, it's okay. I think sometimes the first single is just more like, let's whet the appetite. Let's just like show them a little something. But then on the second single, like bring it. And I think they actually did bring it with the second single. We'll get to. But yeah, this one was just kind of like, and it's just, it's you know, like it's not, to me, it's not, sorry, man, I'm sorry, you know, but it's like, it's as far as the video goes, though, I didn't hate it so much. I was actually happy with it. I felt like the video gave everyone a chance to shine. And I like the black suits, and that it was just very debonair. I still like it to this day. Yeah, I think the video it was swagger, and that's what I liked about the video.
Okay, okay. Miss J, let's talk about You Don't Have to Worry.
So I see we're gonna have to agree to disagree a couple times on this.
Oh, it's on, because I think if you're not a Jam and Lewis person compared to the other tracks, that's what we're gonna be.
I love Jam and Lewis, but You Don't Have to Worry had Sean Combs and a Heavy D name on that one. I love Heavy D, but I wasn't too crazy about You Don't Have to Worry. It's okay of a song to me. I think Hit Me Off is a better song. You Don't Have to Worry was, because it's New Edition, I'm going to listen and they're going to perform. But I just think it was not, to me, the material I didn't like as much. It was more laid back to me. And I mean, of course they did what they had to do, but not my favorite. Sorry.
Okay. So I would say this, that that was my favorite track on the album.
Wow.
The one regret I had is that I remember when I was in college, we had this, we had somebody set up this kind of karaoke stuff where you could record a music video. And I bravely stood up and lip synced to You Don't Have to Worry. Unfortunately, wow. I recorded something over the tape, and I still regret that right now. I loved the track, even the remix with Missy. It was Bobby was like, okay, let me show you vocally. I am Bobby Brown, the singer. I loved how he sang on this. I think I wish New Edition had done more of the background vocals and featured a little bit more on the song. It was actually Slim from 112 that did a lot, and Faith Evans that did some of the background chorus. And actually, when I interviewed 112, they said, yeah, Slim sang all the backing on that. So you could. So I wish they had done. That's been if Jam and Lewis had produced a track, you would have heard it. He would have used New Edition, and you'd have felt them in the track.
Yeah.
But I love the song. My issue with this was they'd had a horrible video. It was just it did have no coordination. They were dancing on a stage in a dingy nightclub, and it was I mean they could have. Oh goodness, I'm saying their USP is the choreography. It's the slickness, and they could have done it much better. Yes, we had Crazy Bobby back and him doing his stuff, but the video just really didn't. It just wasn't great, and it didn't help the song. But as I said, for '96, this was a current song, good sample. It would have been great if Biggie had actually done the remix instead of Missy, because that Biggie was still around and he would have made a massive impact like he did on 112. But anyway, M Mac, welcome. Yeah, so that was it. You don't have to worry. Love the track, And I did a trivia a while back and said there were there were 3 songs with the same video, the same title. You don't have to worry. I don't know if anyone can think of the other 2.
Tevin Campbell.
Oh, he had one. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to worry. And that was also Bad Boy, by the way. And 112 was on there.
There's 3 more.
And then actually, 3, and then the
2 more.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna leave it at that one. Oh, you don't have to worry, Mary J. Wait, so you said at the same time?
No, but it had the same title. Yeah. So Mary J. Blige,
Mary
you don't
J.
have to
Blige,
worry.
Yeah.
And there's one last one.
That one I don't. I probably know it, but I'm not. It's not coming to me.
From the En Vogue.
You don't have to worry about a thing. Right. Yes, the third single. I like that one. And that one actually, of all the songs on that album, I think is the most timeless. I feel it ages well. But anyway.
Yeah. So it was. So I did a little trivia of that. And Mac, welcome. Rascal 78, what's up, everyone? I need that new album for 25 years. Yeah. Okay, Stevie, what's your thoughts on it?
Again, I noticed it's produced by our. Well, he's not our good friend, is he? He's currently locked away by Mr. P. Diddy.
With Chucky Thompson. With Chucky. Chucky's a cool guy. The late Chucky Thompson.
No, it says it. What we talk about, you don't have to worry.
Right.
Yeah.
His name was on it. And Heavy D.
It does mention Chucky Thompson. P. Diddy.
Heavy D.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the sample again. Another big sample here, James Brown, Your Love. So I thought it was a really solid track. Was it a single? Was it a single?
Yeah, it was the second video.
Was this the one with the remix that had Missy Elliott on?
Yeah. There was one with Missy Elliott. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember hearing it in the club quite a few times. Again, solid R&B track for '96. It's what I wanted. This is what I wanted when I was buying albums in that year. So I was getting what I wanted. Again, it's 8 out of 10 tracks for me. Right, it should have been a single. It was. So I was happy with it. And
it was this Bad Boy era, so that was the Bad Boy sound, and they were ruling the charts with Biggie, Park and stuff. The video version was better than the album version. She said that was that had the remix with Missy. Yeah. Mr. Knight.
All right. So someone said something about, was it weird that there were 4 singles and 4 months or something like that? I mean, Wikipedia has something different, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get to the single stuff when we get to the A&R thing. Now, as far as You Don't Have to Worry goes, I remember when I listened to the album, I liked the end, how Hit Me Off went right into bam, 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 right? But then the song started off strong, but then it would actually wane and I would get bored towards the end. Although I did like Mike's, N-E, expertise, please. Like, I like that rap, right? So the album version is kind of more like, it's heavy and swagalicious, right? but the video version is like slick and very much like Cold Rocket Party by MC Light and the Diddy. That came out around the same time, fall '96, and it was very just souped up and sleek. So they're different, and I'm in different moods for different versions. That said, for me, You Don't Have to Worry would have been like the last single, in my opinion. It would have been like, okay, we've done our run, and now we're gonna just mop up the things. Because here's why. Even with the video, you see Bobby in front and the rest of them in the back. It was to me, it showed the fragmentation of the group. And New Edition is not just Bobby Brown, but that song was just Bobby Brown. I feel like the other songs on the album, like the last one, I think and Oh Yeah, It Feels So Good, do a much better job of showcasing everyone, as well as Hit Me Off. But again, everyone with that background vocals and that Jam and Lewis magic. So now we're about to enter a desert, in my opinion, between this track and like track 7, because Jam and Lewis are nowhere to be found for the next one.
Okay.
I might offend some people, but I feel like the album's gonna get a little milquetoast.
Okay.
Here on out.
Okay, so the next one is tied.
Thank you. Sorry, Rascal. Exactly. New York Undercover. I meant to mention that they actually do like they're like rehearsal, and they do the album version, New York Undercover. Sorry, I had to jump in there. I love this chat. I love you guys.
Yeah, actually, the New York Undercover version, I wish they could have. That was a better version of a video than what they put out, because the one they put out was just so confusing. It's like they're walking into a club and then Bobby's on his own. It just didn't fit well. People are saying Stevie sounds as if he's underwater stuff. So this is Stevie's timing. He's on his phone, but he's getting back onto his laptop shortly. So Miss Jade, track number 4, Tighten It Up.
Easily, you should be left alone. Tighten it up. So I like this song, and so this one has Bob James. What's his name? Bob James on it too. So this one is the Westchester Lady. The other one is Storm Kings. But yeah, both of them have that same musician's beat on it and Slow Down. So I love this song. I feel like I like this one better than the one y'all love so much.
Which one was that?
The one
You Don't Have to
worry.
Worry.
I like this one better than You Don't Have to Worry. And that sample, Slow Down, was a popular song, I believe, in the 80s. You know how they ended it with, is this the part, take my heart and wipe it? I love that. And that came from that original song that, they sample from. And I just think that this one right here is a winner to me. I still love this song to this day. I have listened to this over and over again for the past couple of days.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I would say that this song was in my it was in my top 3 songs.
Damn.
I was like, I wouldn't have minded if this came out as a first single. Now I've said when we do the A&R at the end, I just thought it was like, it was current, it had the JD bounce, and I think he probably sounded the best on that track. I liked how Ralph comes in with his Ralph sounded like butter on this, and I think it was a song that they didn't capitalize on, because JD was So Def was on fire, and this was definitely there, and it had of course we didn't have Johnny on it, but I think it then even Ron's rap was good on it too. So I think they missed a trick with this track. I think they missed it. 96, as Stevie says, was really prime. This was like the pinnacle of, if we ever did it, when we do a podcast on 96 and you see the albums that came out to 96, this would have been a really good track to really push some of those tracks up there. But yeah, so I love the track. Jermaine Dupri doing the production on that, and that was mine. Stevie, good to see you back in your elements, but I'm sure you're sounding.
I just froze there.
Okay, you're sounding great as well.
He is back, baby.
He's back.
Have I froze? Oh, I'm back. I just froze.
No, you're back.
You know what,
You're
Miss
fine.
J? I couldn't see Miss J before, so I can see you now. So, a nice hat, by the way. Is that from 1980? Is that from the Candy Girl era? That hat.
I was trying to do Ronnie hit me off hat.
Very,
90s era
very
hat.
80s. Done it very, very. I like it. Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. Right, tighten it up again. You just mentioned Jermaine Dupri. Some of the issues I had with some of Jermaine Dupri's previous productions. Very how do I explain this? And not the bass, but like the real high end of his tracks were always distorting. And I felt he got it right. He got the production slick. Just the mix and mastering on a couple of tracks that he did on this album were really good. And this tighten it up again. It sounds tight. It does. It sounds a tight track. And again, another. I can't say much else than another solid track. I was like, whoa, we got another followed. You know, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4 solid track in a row. So again, another 8 out of 10 for me. Maybe it could have been remixed and released as a single, but I was happy with it. No complaints.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. You all still love me afterwards, man.
I feel like he's Simon Cowell at the end of, after everyone has gone through the
skip. Like, I just felt like lyrically it was so juvenile and so immature. Like, really, after grow it up can be a pain, you're now going back to like, it's looking kind of positive. Yeah. Like, it's just like, what? Like, I hated that song, man. And the thing is, I have a defense because, and we're not going to skip around, but I just say I have a defense. And Rascal, I see you there. You said something earlier that I'm gonna follow up on. So anyway, I will say on the second leg of the Home Again tour, they did do Tighten Up live too. So I said, I saw some rare-ish, and I literally go to YouTube like usually just hoping someone somewhere uploads footage, because it's like it's a shame. That concert needs to be somewhere because it was history. Yeah, Tighten Up was absolutely there. And I remember Ronnie being pretty like prominent. That's right, he was, because Mike wasn't even there. So Ronnie had to do everything, like all the raps.
Wow. Oh my God, I wish I could.
Yeah. And him being the best dancer in the group, like, come on, man. So anyway.
So you weren't a big fan of Tighten Up?
Every time.
Wow. Okay, Miss J. Shop around.
One of my favorites.
I
love it. I love it. I thought at first when I was reading it, before I ever heard it, I was like, did they redo Smokey Robinson? No, this is not just Smokey Robinson Shop Around. Oh, no. They sound so good. It's Johnny Gill. Ralph doing that. I love how doing are gone. They are known for their Ralph does it so beautifully, and it's just so many elements and layers of the song in this song with their voices. Oh my God. Ralph sounds so beautiful. Johnny Gill tore the song up. My favorite. This is one of my favorite songs on this entire album. It should have been a single. This one should have been a single. Got me stack head. Oh God. Don't get me to talking about. I can't sing, so I had to stop myself from singing. Like, stop singing.
What a man's got to do, what a man's got to do. It's in our nature. First come, first go. I think lyrically, it was a little challenging when he saw that. So we've got to shop around, but it's in our nature. So so it was almost like I can't remember the words where he's saying one thing but doesn't really mean it. Talking about it's in our nature. We just cheat around, but I don't want to cheat, and I want to just settle down with the right woman. So it was something. It was the beginning of Johnny's part. I almost felt like he sang it, not believing what he was saying. So lyrically, I can agree with Andrew more on this than Tighten It Up. But I did like, as I said, Ralph is always amazing when he comes on a track. And Bobby shouting out a little bit on this one. He's not as calm and collected on this one. But yeah, I did like it, and I actually thought Jermaine did a good job vocally with them than Puffy did, because I think Jermaine used all six of them a lot better than Puffy just said, "Yeah, I'm just going to use my lead vocalist and my bad boy backup singer." So I did like it, not as much as Tighten It Up though. Stevie.
There's three standout tracks for me on this album. This was one of them. It's one of my very, very favourites. I still play it to this day.
Yes.
I think as a man, as you're growing up, you have got to, when it comes to the ladies, you got to play the field a bit. You have got to shop out. You got to take your time. It's like a box of chocolates, isn't it? You know, you've got your box of chocolates, you select your favourites. You've got the ones on the side that are just there every now and again that you dip into. Very favourites. You've got the ones that, you know, your solid 10 out of 10s that, you know, you might want to take out to a restaurant or the club or show off to your friends. Like, you know, the trophy girlfriend. You know, in this new era, we've got the AI girlfriend. You know, a lot of men will be happy about that, because when they're dating these women now, they're not getting callbacks. They're not getting second dates. They're being ghosted on text. AI girlfriend won't do that. Always there, the AI girlfriend, guys. It's coming. Telling you. So yeah, Shop Around. Great song. Great. It fits in that bag. I've got three different styles of slow jams, which I explained on the last podcast we did. You've got Your Hands in the Air, Let's All Cry, with Aaron Hall, I Miss You, slow jam. Then we've got The Quiet Storm, Let's Get It On in the Bedroom, slow jam. And then you've got your soulful slow jam, which gets you at the heart here. But Shop Around is, you know, let's get it. It's like, let's get it on kind of slow jam. So one of my very favourites. Fantastic. 10 out of 10.
All right. I'm going to take a very serious risk, and I may have to cut from this. I've got expectations of what my settle down should be. She's got to be stacked head to toe. She's got to be down for me. Like, you know, first come, first serve is the one some do it, but not me. I shop around. Shop. Yo, Shop Around is the one. So even though Tighten It Up and Shop Around, JD songs, that's the one that I felt like the sound of 96, and that could totally hang. Everyone does their thing. I actually like Bobby's verse on there. He comes up from the back behind Ralph, and then just like with the power. And then I was reading about the campaign, and apparently Shop Around was played on some radio stations. So like they kind of went and said, you know what, this is the one. Like, bump what you guys are telling us what to play. Right. We'll play this one. So it just had that ho ho, like it was just really smooth. And it did like that song ho ho. You like that? Okay. No, but like totally did that song in concert too. It was like great. So yeah, no, Shop Around. Shop Around. It's like this. It's a, you know, what's she gonna do? Huh?
Right.
Yeah, that's Ronnie, right? Like the whole thing was like modern New Edition, and it wasn't like they were fronting or trying to be something else or trying to be like older 112. It was just an element. So Shop Around is like the one non-Jam and Lewis track that I actually FUX with. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one. All right, y'all. So I hope I redeem myself after the blasphemy of Tighten It Up.
Yeah. Wait until we do the One Love album. I'm sure it'll be slates and slates on that one.
Porsche Negro, Ireland. Yo. Also, I'm so glad you're here. It went #1 in Ireland. So the album went #1 in the US and also in Ireland, of all places. So that must have been you, man. You must have bought like 100 copies back then, you know, or something like that. Anyways, I sorry for talking over. I just had to like give. Was it Rick? Okay, my bad. But still, Ralph came in towards the end. I mean, I'm talking too much. I'm excited. Namdi, you have the microphone.
No. Miss J, over to you. We've got the next track on that is Hear Me Out.
Hold on, what did you think of Shop Around, Namdi?
No, I did. Yeah, so I'm after Miss J and before you.
So Hear Me Out is the next one, right? Yep.
Hear Me Out. Yeah.
Hear Me Out. Oh my God. This song right here, Bobby and Johnny, when they go back and forth echoing each other, Oh, and Johnny go. Oh God, I had to keep rewinding this one. Johnny was going off after that second time they said, "I know I acted kind of crazy," and then Bobby follows echoes Johnny with that, and then Johnny just takes that song and oh, he talking about begging and crying and oh my
Begging.
Lord. The ad libs on this, Johnny's voice was perfection. Ralph was in there for a second. It was beautiful. Ralph jumped in there. Somewhere in that song, Ralph jumps in and makes this beautiful. I don't know who's that. Who? Ralph. Ralph. Ralph popped his head up. Ralph popped in. Johnny took it back and took it home. Okay, this song right here was sung, but it was perfection, like with the leads. Oh, hear me out.
We
single too.
It should be single, yeah. So we have to shout out to the producer and songwriter Dinky Bingham. He was the one of the band members of Guy, and he was part of the Jamaica Boys with Marcus Miller, who did all the Luther stuff. I'll go as far as saying this was their best slow song since Can't Stand the Rain. I vocally, to me, this was When Will I See You Smile Again Part 2, when Ricky started it off.
Yes.
And then you had Johnny doing some Boys to Men type of stuff. And then Ralph, because the way Johnny comes in and he just sings, and towards the end, and he's vocal gymnastics.
Yes.
And throughout the whole track. And then you have Ralph when you have the contrast between Ralph and Johnny, you're like, wow, you're just all over the place. And as I said, Ricky keeping it just real smooth. And as you mentioned with Bobby at the back, it floored me when this was not released. One of the things I noticed from the late 80s through the 90s, that songs that are about I'm sorry, please forgive me, I miss you, it tugs on people. So the reason why we love I Miss You, and it became a song, because it was like you could relate to that. When I See You Smile Again, is one of those songs where, yeah, it tugs on people. On the album, this was one of those songs that could have just gone down and be one of those songs that people would always go back and reflect on if they had the right type of video. I would have loved to have them sing it on stage, like When Will I See You Smile Again, and then you have little short clips around it. But to me, it was a big trick. I mean, it's
beautiful.
Love the song. It was just so, yeah. Best, as I said, after Can You Stand the Rain, I think this song could have just been one of the songs where we would have been begging them to sing. Stevie.
No. When I got this album out and I was looking at the track list and I got to Hear Me Out, I thought, I don't recall this. Why don't I recall this track? Why don't I remember it like I remember all the others? No, there's 2 skippers on this album. So I played it again and I'm listening and thinking, this is dull. This is so dull as a track. Yeah, don't get me wrong, the vocals on point and everything, but as a melody, Hear Me Out, I'm like, oh dear. I feel like I'm going to a funeral or something. What's going on? So, for me, take this track up. What had I done with this album? I wouldn't have included this track on the album. I'd have made it a B-side on a single, a nice like collectible. When you buy a single, it's got a track that's a non-album track, and you go, oh, I'm gonna have to buy this single because it's got this exclusive non-album track on it. You remember always buying those in the mid-90s. You get like a maxi single with a track they left. This is you could have done with this track. You should have left it off the album and made it an exclusive B-side. Say with one of the singles like "Hit Me Off" or "You Don't Have to Worry," and you would have thought, yeah, it's a nice track. It's an album filler at best.
Oh,
goodness. Oh goodness.
First of all, you singing it too slow. It was
we-
not dragging like that.
Am I getting mixed up with another track? Because I actually
I
no,
think you have
sing the track because it goes hear me out. Am I getting mixed
I apologize for breaking
I
your
no,
My
heart.
apologies for breaking.
Oh.
So you're already getting a hint by how I'm singing it. My
Dull.
apologies
Unbelievably
for
dull.
breaking. Yeah, I'm with you, Chuck Wuma. I see you there, Abomali. Yo, hit me, hear me out. It wasn't so. If I was lying down and Tighten Up came up, I might get up and hit skip. Hear me out. I won't get up. I'll tolerate it. But if I'm near the skip, and, and yo, the vocals are dope. Don't get me wrong, Jay. I love your facials. The vocals are dope, but that chorus, there's no harmony. It's just yeah, girl, and especially my apologies for breaking your heart. Like what? And then like Johnny's like, or while they're talking. Like, no, they're singing. Don't get me wrong. There's actually like a concert where when Bobby and Johnny go back and forth, it's amazing. They need more of that because they're both like Bobby Womack versus Luther type thing, right? But yeah, man, hear me out. Like, I heard they recorded 20 songs for this album. Like, where are the others? Like, we have B-sides from One Love. We have B, but where? Those B-sides must have been fire. Speaking of fire, they probably burned down in the Universal fire. But anyway, because there was like they lost all their masters and stuff like somewhere. Maybe it was intentional. Who knows? But anyhow, hear me out.
I don't want to hear that out no more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, unintended. Is
Fucking-
okay. And Stevie, like One More Chance by Janet, that was like a B-side to If, and that was her version of the Jacksons version. Like I would have been cool with that. But yeah, I love that people love Hear Me Out. I do. But yeah, it's like I'm love the comments. But I do know I feel safe talking about it here. If it was like somewhere else, I might be like, it's a good song, But nah, we keep it real because I'm a New Edition fan. Come on, y'all see me. So like I have my defense. All right. So sorry, but the next song.
So how did it make the album? That's what I want to know. How did it actually make the album?
Because it was one of the best songs on the album.
No,
That's why it made the album. It's one of the best songs on the album.
No, Namdi.
One of the best
Very
songs on the album. Okay, Jay, we're on track number 7.
Okay.
Something About You.
Let me calm down.
Don't worry. Yeah.
So, track number 7, Something About You, babe, over and over. And I love this song. This is one of my Shop Around, Something About You, or Hit Me Off, my favorites, fast. Something About You, Ralph, he starts off, yo, this
Country Western funk
Country
folk
Western
meets the NE.
I disagree with his description of it because I don't think it was country western, whatever he called it, because the only thing close to that was his yodeling in there when he was like something about you. That part, that was the countryness of it all. Because this song was like a rock song in the 90s, the original beat.
Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians, What I Am.
Yeah, that's kind of like a rock funk song.
It's a folk song. It's a folk song.
Is it? Okay. I like it.
And of course, Intro sampled it first, but yep.
I like it. And I could just see them dancing on the break part when I could just visualize them dancing and tearing this up. Like, I really wish they did more with this song. I love it. 10 out of 10 to me.
Yeah, at first, when it first, and I'll be honest, when it first came out, I wasn't a big fan, but it grew on me. And I'm in my notes. I said Smooth Criminal, Stone Cold Gentleman Part 2, because it was Ralph and Johnny and Bobby, and I think that was nostalgic. That kind of combo, Bobby backing Ralph on the track, and this was pretty much old school New Edition, because old school New Edition was Ralph singing and everyone just backing, and I think it was like a throwback. Because it felt like, okay, it's just Ralph's song, but that was how it was. And actually, I think when Johnny came in, the concept was, okay, let's actually mix it up a little bit. But it was a throwback to a vintage New Edition with just Ralph singing, everyone backing him up, and but it was good just getting Jam putting Bobby's vocals part of that, hyping him up, almost like, yeah, go on, my boy, I'm proud of you, man.
Yes,
Go,
I
go
love
for it.
that.
And but it also was good for Jam and Lewis because I think it shows their mastery of the diversity of production and stuff like that. You know, it was just definitely a track that grows on you. Didn't like it when I first heard it though, but I think later on I've appreciated it a lot more. Stevie.
Well, after Hear Me Out, we're getting back on track now. We are getting back on track. Again, really good use of a sample, the Edie Brickell thing. I give this like a 6, 7 out of 10. It's not a killer track, but it's a solid album filler track. I did like this. I think it has stood the test of time, and I'll still continue to play it on the album. So, yeah, do for me.
Okay. Before you
And
speak,
for me, it's a must play.
Yeah.
It was like, I love that song because because to your point, Andy, it is more. This sounds like New Edition, and I'll just say my radio station in the Bay Area, they broke a lot of hits. They had Summer Jam, they like Paul Abdul, a couple other Mariah Carey, like they broke them first. It was a big deal, and that guy went on to work for J Records, Arista. Now he's at. So anyway, it was a special station, 92.3 The Beat in LA, same guy. When they did a New Edition weekend, they rotated, Oh Yeah, It Feels So Good, Something About You, One More Day, and I'm Still in Love with You. They were the 4 songs that they picked as like the ones to get excited about. So that said, I just want to say it's not just me. Something About You, absolutely. I remember driving, and some certain songs when you're driving and you actually put your foot down on the gas and you drive faster because you're just so like, How Do You Want It by Tupac does that to me too. But anyway. But Something About You, like, I'm just like, I'm breezing. I want to roll down my window and let the wind just go by me, you know. And Bobby even goes like, you fucked up, right? Sorry, you don't. Like, he actually does that little line if you listen really closely. The whole song is just like swagger. Should have had a video, like a real video. I'm pretty sure they did that on the second leg of the Home Again tour too. Like it was just, to me, it was like crucial. It was like the crucial of this album because Crucial was very much a Ralph celebration, and I think Something About You was also a Ralph celebration. So Something About You is a must play. You already know, it's like, for me, if I'm playing this album, it's like, Oh Yeah, It Feels So Good, and I go right Something About You. Sorry. And y'all will continue with that. So thank you for listening. Y'all are awesome.
Okay, before we get to the next one, yes, you just asked, we are live. And we want to welcome everyone who's joining in. John, you're watching us from Barbados, so definitely welcome. And Rascal78 is occupying the comments. So we're encouraging everyone to just comment and give us your vibes about the album. As we said, we're going through each of the tracks on the Home Again album, and surprisingly different opinions about some of our songs, which is strange. But MMAX says it got that type of rated R type of vibe.
No, he said he got pulled over for speeding, driving rated R. So we're on the same wavelength. Music can do that to you. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh man!
It's like getting a ticket for riding to Speed Demon by Michael and Bad. So we are live. So it's great as you guys put in the comments. So our next track is "Baby, We Can Try Again."
Right. Yes.
If we make it. And so Miss J.
So Bobby starts off with, yeah. I gotta say, I'm gonna probably disagree with you guys on this. Is another Puffy Johnny Combs produced one, and I'm not a fan of it. I would pass on this one. I'm not a fan of it. Puffy was known for some good remixes and productions back then, and I just was not a fan. Even back when I first heard it, I was not a fan of the things that he produced on this album. Of course, I love Jimmy Jam and those productions for New Edition the best, but I pass on this one. I don't. I'm gonna say what Aretha Franklin said when she didn't want to say anything bad. Nice gowns.
So I'm gonna put on my '96 hat on, my '96 puffy bad boy in ruling the world type of song, and I thought actually it was yeah, because I love Ricky on this. Yeah, and you know, one of the things I did say when I listened to this album that this was a Ricky Bell solo album. It's almost like, hey, Ricky, we forgot that you could sing. Come on, because it was like we, as the start of the show, I said if the BBD project didn't succeed, this album doesn't come out. We're not celebrating New Edition as we are. BBD had to succeed. Ricky had to succeed as a vocalist because it felt as if they said, "Hey, Ricky, come on, man, you take some leads." And Ricky was great at this. Bobby doing his thing, and I probably wouldn't have put it as one of the first singles or second singles, but I felt it was for its time and what Bad Boy was doing in the scene. You know, think about 112 and stuff like that. I thought, you know, Cape made them feel current, yeah, I really enjoyed the track. As I said, I loved how they used Bobby a lot on this, and he was, you know, he was sounding really good compared to how he'd been when he did the Forever album. So, yeah, nice little solid track for me. Stevie.
I ain't skipping this one. The album's at a level now, just after what we just talked about. But that is a solid track for me. Solid production, Chucky Thompson, Puffy. You know, they were knocking out some great stuff at that time. So I get it's another 7.5 out of 10 for me, this track. I wouldn't say it was a single, but it's another solid album track. Yeah.
So live on this podcast, I've never thought this before ever. I always thought the song was kind of boring. It kind of started off like a "You Don't Have to Worry" when that boom, dum, dum, dum. Like I like the beat. It's like okay, but then it's just like kind of goes, and then like there's no rap, there's no nothing. It's just like maybe we can, and I'm like, okay, this is whack now. Like I skip, but I'll usually skip like about 2 minutes in. But I was just thinking back with my '96 hat, like if you had Mace, for example, open up with a rap on that beat, and then they come out, then that could have actually been a decent first single. Because again, the first single doesn't have to be
why
like
Mace? Why did you pick Mace?
Because Mace, I think, has, you know what? It's funny. I always thought Mace and Biv had similar sounding voices, but whatever, screw it. You know, Mace is like, he's more like he was on 112, you know, hum when you want to, come when you want to. So that Only You, it's the same vibe. Mace is more smooth, whereas Biggie was more gangsta. Although he had smooth too, don't get me wrong. But Mace, I think, would have been a good match for the New Edition sound. So Try Again was not a terrible song, but it wasn't like dope. So it was like it was mid, you know, but it was like,
yeah, it's a good album. It's a good album. That's
yeah.
what it was.
And it benefits from being right after Something About You, because I don't feel like getting up again and getting skipped, you know. So it's like, I'll let it play.
But it's the same way I said, You Don't Have to Worry. I think Biggie, that was a beat that Biggie could have started, could have rapped on, and then it goes into the track. I would have used Biggie instead of Missy, and I can imagine, yes, how Mace, the flow on this. Yeah, as I said, okay. I like the beat, especially due to Slick Rick. Ricky Bell's the truth, and people do agree that actually Ricky did have. They really gave him some respect on this album, which was good. As I said, When We Die See You Smile Again, and what was the other one the Babyface did for them? Something in Your Eyes.
Ricky's finest moment. There's a performance on the Leno show with Ricky doing that. Yo, if you haven't seen it, I will send it to you. Ricky was untouchable. He was at the peak of his powers. I think he killed it.
Yeah.
Made it look easy.
As I said, this album really gave us Ricky Bell. So yeah, appreciate it on that. So we are. How do you like your love serves? So this is your native, Mr. Gerald Levert on production.
Right. Hometown Gerald Levert. You could tell it's Gerald. You know a Gerald Levert song when you hear it. And just you have to read the credits to know Gerald made this song. Ricky was on this one a lot too. Ricky was giving us goodness on this one. I like this track, but I think that when I was young, Gerald was just like too grown for me. I don't know if it's ever it's like too grown. Too grown. I was too young for that. But I think they did a good job on this song. I'm gonna say this is a decent song. I would have put it at 10 if I'm, a number of 10 to 1. I put this on my 9 or 10.
Okay. Yeah, I think compared to for me it was it felt like Gerald Levert is like looking at Johnny Gill as his prodigy and says, "Yes, son, let me write a song for you. Let me write a manly song for you."
Right.
And and you had Johnny really going strong in this track, opposite Rick and I think Ralph was on it as well. It wasn't it wasn't as good as Hear Me Out, and
what you talk about, Willis?
it wasn't as good as Hear Me Out, but it was a decent track. It's one that I don't normally remember, but as I said, I hear it and I hear Johnny, and I think, okay, it's pretty cool, but it was a little slow for me. But yeah, how do you like it? But Gerald was good. I think we forget about not just Gerald, but Mark Gordon. When they were together, they created magic, and then Gerald doing his thing on his own. Yeah, Stevie, how do you love?
One of my 3 outstanding tracks on the album, the real down low, deep R&B bedroom track. How Do You Like Your Love Served? Oh, amazing track. Absolutely amazing track. I didn't realize, actually, I hold my hands up, I didn't realize it was until I got the booklet out and I'm revising the producer and it said Gerald Levert. I'm like, whoa, Gerald Levert got to produce New Edition. He got in there. So like I say, the ballads he's done in the past have been amazing. So this a 10 out of 10 for me. One of the standout tracks on the album.
Okay.
Really catchy. You just float off into. I'm not even going to go there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Knight?
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned LSG, Chakuma. Exactly. I felt like that was almost like prototypical LSG. I liked it. I actually, that's the one ballad that I like that isn't a Jam and Lewis ballad on the album. And yes, they performed it at the concert. And yes, I think they're even giving out like roses and stuff. And like they really like milked it, like as far as that song, because everybody who needed to be there was there. Ricky, Johnny, and Ralph. So it was good. Yeah, I'll just say it's a solid track. Tell me how you like it. Like the whole thing is just from start to finish, like a solid. Yeah, it's like that one and Shop Around are the 2 non-Jam and Lewis tracks that I mess with.
Okay. So, Miss J, one more day.
That's the Ricky track right there. I love this one. It kind of reminds me I'm Still in Love with You. When Ralph was talking in the intro, I thought we were going to hear more of him singing. And the video was kind of strange because it was only Ricky in it. And they say, N.E. harmonized. Nobody else is there.
But did they do a video?
Yes.
There's a video. And Ralph didn't know about it either. He didn't even know
Terrible.
about Ricky making the video. Yeah, it was a Ricky.
Ricky made the video. On his own.
Only one there. It was a solo Ricky video.
Yes.
Terrible.
And had nerve to say N.E. harmonized. And left that in the freaking video.
Was it supposed to be a Ricky Bell single, or was it a new edition? Was it released as a new edition song?
It's a new edition. It was supposed to be a new edition track, and Ralph was supposed to sing more on it. He's in the intro,
yes.
But I believe he said his mother was sick, and he didn't even know.
Or passed away. Yeah, exactly. Like it was supposed to be like a Rick and Ralph track, but they just went ahead and let Ricky do the whole thing.
Yeah, Ralph didn't even know about the video. Years, decades, he never even saw the video. So,
Wow.
yeah, I still like it because I like Ricky's voice. I think Ricky has a nice voice and it's a nicely written song. But you could just tell it's missing more Ralph. Like, I do love the track though, but I just want a little Ralph on it, a little more Ralph than what.
That story reminds me of when Why You Want to Keep Me for My Baby, and it was only Aaron that was in the video. Teddy and Damon didn't show up. Didn't went in that stack. It was, and that was the second single of the Guy 3 album, and it was just Aaron doing "Why You Want to Keep Me for My Baby." But so that was, you're just saying that Ricky was the only one in the video. I'm thinking, wow. It reminded me. What Boyz II Men song does it remind you of?
Thank you. It just reminds me of Boyz II Men. I love that you said that. It just has a Boyz II Men vibe to it.
Do you remember what track though?
Nah, not really.
Water Runs Dry. That type of it reminded me of the water runs dry kind of vibe. Yeah, I felt it was. Yeah, I didn't realize that the whole drama with that. With the One More Day, but I felt it was a nice album track. I didn't realize, I wouldn't have thought of it as being a single, but it could have been like everyone's abandoned ship, and Ricky's like, well, might as well kind of get my name.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Oh yeah, so somebody said Seasons, yeah, Water Runs Dry, Seasons of London. It felt like a New Edition, sorry, Boyz II Men type of track, yeah. But it was good, and in a good way. In a good way, it sounded like a Boyz II Men stuff. And we have to remember, before Boyz II Men, it was New Edition. And I think, yes, I do wonder. Just quick question: if vocally, do we rate Boyz II Men above New Edition? Just vocally,
like it's not even a question. Like to me, it's like no. Like Boyz II Men is like. Are you serious? Right? Like, do not like go up against Boyz II Men unless you really like. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with like. That's like asking Janet to like go against Whitney. Like, no? Like, it's not the same. You're different length. Yes, you're different. Like Johnny can mess with.
Whoa, that's what I'm gonna say. Johnny, come on.
Johnny's the only one, but the rest of them, slow down, y'all. Like, sit down. Don't do it. Yeah, Jay. What? Like, I'm not like no. Like
Johnny
Ralph can mess with, like Ralph can mess with one of the Boyz II Men groups. Okay, I mean,
Johnny
comments
aside,
but to me, it's not no. Like no, they're a pop, like more pop kind of voices compared to a Boyz II Men. That said, Nathan Morris, I've always remembered him like he would sound great on One More Day. Like a now I can't deny it. Like his voice would sound good on that part. I can't do Nathan. You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
Up against Ricky, I would say. I can't say they're better than New Edition. I just can't say that. I can't say that.
All right.
You got Johnny, Ralph, Ricky, and Bobby. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
The comments are like.
It's funny though. If you put it to the public, I think people will find that sacrilege. And maybe we will be voting with our hearts and not our minds. And they will always say that New Edition vocally would be better when we consider the we'll consider four vocalists and Johnny on his own, and then Ralph doing his stuff, and then Ricky, and then Bobby. But yeah, but as I said, I'm sure, and I'll just throw it out there just because I think One More Day sounded like a big Boyz II Men track. But yeah, okay, Stevie, let me put it to you. One More Day.
I'd go further than Boyz II Men because when I first heard this, I thought I like the track. I always felt it was a very middle of the road R&B pop track. I could hear it on if BBC Radio 2, which is like one of the biggest radio stations in the UK, next to Radio 1, I could have heard this on BBC. It probably wasn't played, but I could definitely hear it being playlisted on that station. I know in America, a lot of play stations are kind of segregated out, and you've got the R&B charts, you've got the country charts, you've got this chart. I think this song could have got on a lot of different radio stations. AOR, you know, adult orientated rock, pop radio. And then I realized when I was doing a bit of music digging in a few stores, Jam and Lewis got paid twice for this track because there was a Sting track that came out about a year later. It might not have been somewhere between 96 and 97. It was on a soundtrack produced by Jam and Lewis, and it uses the whole music of this track.
Huh.
So I was right. You know, they got Sting. They've used the same melodies production from that New Edition track, and Sting had a hit with this. I can't remember the name of the track because they were also working with Rod Stewart at the time as well. There's a Rod Stewart album from '96 with 2 Jam and Lewis tracks on it. So again, Jam and Lewis must have been working with those 3 all at the same time, and that's why you got this similar sounding production track. They're obviously going for pop radio with it. So there's a bit of back history for you. But yeah, I like the track. It's a solid 6.5 for me, and I can understand why it was a single. So yeah.
All right, so a couple things. New edit 617. Love you. It's all love. It's all love. So basically, Ezekiel he's on the same page. We're not going to get too much into the weeds of the argument, but it's like 100%. Now, ask me again, who do I prefer, Boyz II Men or New Edition, as far as like New Edition all day? Can You Stand in the Rain, better all day. Who do I prefer musically, Janet or Whitney? Janet, okay? But again, there's subjective and there's objective. And I have the ability to say, my heart is this, but objectively, it's that. So Janet is better in the studio. Like when you have your voice, if you're a strong singer, doing vocal stacking like Michael did or Janet did or Ralph does is like harder to do because you're not like you're just blah. But if you have a softer voice and you know how to blend, then you can stack. So going back to One More Day, the like in the background, that's New Edition. It's those plush harmonies all over it. Even though the One More Day harmonize, all of that. The whole song is what I want to hear. It's You're Not My Kind of Girl. It's like basically not just people blowing and just like swinging all over the place. It's making a carpet of a bed of sound with voices blending together. And that's what New Edition does better than damn near everyone. Like I think only Janet and Michael are in that lane, and then New Edition, honestly. And I keep going back to You're Not My Kind of Girl, because that's the one where you hear that, oh, sorry. I mean, that's what I want to hear. And that's what you hear on a song like One More Day, and that's what you're going to hear for the rest of the damn album with Jam and Lewis, because that's what they did best, the stacking. Love that song. And I wish there was a version with Ralph and Ricky on it.
Right.
Okay. One More Day. And I think, one of the things that a lot of producers who I've spoken to have said that they wanted to try and capture that Jam and Lewis vocal stacking harmony, that there's a science to how they do their harmonies. And Tim and Bob both said that, man, that was the one thing that we tried to learn how to capture the harmonies, and they do bring out the best in New Edition when it comes out. That's why I said with the Puffy tracks, you could tell that New Edition didn't really sing the chorus because it didn't sound like them, and there's a difference when Jam and Lewis do the backing vocals and stuff. I'm still in love with you, Miss J. What's your thoughts?
I'm still in love with this song. I love this song. I love this song. It's you got Ralph and you got Ricky going at it on this song, like back to back. Perfection to me. This song is a 10. This was a perfect song for them to make a single. I can listen to this forever. Like it's a classic. Like it was beautiful then, it's beautiful now. So I think they did a great job on this one. 10 out of 10 on that one.
Now, I think for me, I think it's a decent track.
What?
And I say that because it didn't do well on the charts. It did do well on the charts, and I think and that's why when I say about Hear Me Out would have done a better job on the charts than this one. Not a chance.
It
would have done a better job.
No.
knowing how the market is, and that's why, as I said, um, I'm just looking at the charts right now. It got number 4 on the top R&B tracks, number 7 on the hot R&B tracks, number 7. It's and on number 7 of Billboard charts. It just didn't do a. It's a nice little track, but
Beautiful.
it's yes, but it didn't. It wasn't the track that I would have just said, okay, we need to take this triple 10-time diamond as an album. I thought it was a nice track, but it's not on bending knees. It is that which is my favorite Boyz II Men track. It's
What year did that come out?
That
Bending
came out
Knees
in 92.
94.
94.
I bet in 94, like
94.
yeah, fall 94, not fall 94, early 95, because the 2 album came out in 94. I'll Make Love to You, then On Bended Knee. So yeah, definitely 94, late 94.
So it wasn't as like my On Bended Knees kind of track, but it was a good track. But I think it, I just think it was Also, I just the fact that they were all standing there and just the two of them singing. That's why I preferred Hear Me Out Go. We had four. We had more of them singing and stuff like that. But hey, as I said, it was the third single, I believe, and I think it was the third single. So,
Oh,
second single.
At least in the
Yeah.
US, it was like it was like a double A side. It was like I'm so
Something
in love
About
with
Your
you,
Love.
and then you don't have to worry. I have the CD single on it. It was both
Okay.
for us. I mean, different countries, different things.
Yeah. I was in the US when it came out, so. But so I think it was okay. I didn't like it. I didn't warm to it, and I skip it quite a bit when I listen to it now.
Can you see? All right, you can't see it, but anyway, it actually says still in love, and then you don't have to worry in the bottom. So it was like you can like zoom it later, like screenshot and zoom later. If I move it closer, it's going to disappear.
I think it was a maxi single. Yeah, it was a maxi single with both of them on there.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely a song that either you like it, as I said, my might, either you like it or not. But it was one of the things where I was like, yeah. Stevie, I'm sure you have a.
Would you have liked it better if it got to number 1 in the chart, Nandi?
I don't think it could have gone to number 1. That's why I said it.
It feels like you base things on where a song gets in a chart.
No. I'm saying that the reason why it didn't get to number 1 is because it was just a middle of the road track.
No.
I believe that Hear Me Out Now would have been a number 1 track.
Something about charts back then, especially in the mid-90s. A lot of them charts were rigged. They were rigged with payola. They were rigged with chart machines. And I've seen this happen. I've seen record company reps go into record stores with a big box of singles in their hand, and they go up and they go, listen, if you run that through your chart machine now, we'll give you this box free to sell. So they run the track through the chart machine, which bumps the place up in the chart, and they've got a whole box of them to sell to make money out of. It was completely rigged back then. Payola radio. When I was over in the States, No Diggity was being played all day, like 20 times a day on this state, on other stations. There was that Swing My Way. There was 5 tracks that I only heard 5 tracks all day rotating. And I thought, they're being paid. The state, Puffy would have sent one of his assistants into the radio station with a suitcase with 150 grand in it and said, A-list that track and play it all day for me. Someone like Gina Thompson, which was being played all the time back then. So when you look at them charts that you refer to, Nandi, they're rigged. I'm sorry. They're all rigged.
But I didn't say I didn't like it because I didn't say that I didn't like it because it didn't get to number 1. I said it didn't get to number 1 because it wasn't a great track. But I believe Hear Me Out would have gotten to number 1.
Okay.
It would have been a better radio track that would have done much better on the radio, especially around 96. So when I compare both tracks, I believe that Hear Me Out would have done much better and stayed on the charts longer than One More Day did. And One More Day, it just felt, even when you watch the video, it felt like they weren't interested. Bobby, it just felt like I think when I watch the video and hear the song, I feel like the end of a funeral. It just didn't. it didn't feel uplifting. It didn't feel uplifting to me. Yeah.
Which
But
track are you talking about here?
pardon? Hear
Which
me out. I'm
Hear
still
Me
in love
Out
with you.
Hear Me Out is the
No,
funeral track of
to
the
me,
album.
still in love with you is the kind of like it's just it
Now,
yeah it was just
this
I
is
felt
the
bored.
centerpiece. I'm Still in Love with You is the centerpiece of this album. This is
Mhm.
like the
Right.
wedding song. This is like the classic R&B song. It's a
It-
masterpiece. They
yeah,
can't,
well, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you look at R&B artists today. They can't even create anything close to this.
yeah,
They can't
yeah,
get anywhere near this in
yeah.
terms of warmth, in terms of real feel. They can't get anywhere near it. You know,
Yeah.
this is like 20 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, but
What
that's the
planet
thing.
are you on? I wonder what planet you're on sometimes.
I'm on a planet that Hear Me Out is actually the one of their masterpieces, but you guys had a very different view. I think
Oh, I love Hear Me Out.
vocally, that Hear Me Out was like almost like on another level. With this one, you just had the two of them, and it just was just like a nice little pop song.
No,
But
So-
Andrew,
So I want to just yeah,
the
I can jump in.
James
All
thing
right.
in this
So-
blows Hear Me Out straight off.
So I love this live stream, and now that the comment's gone, but I forget. I want to give you credit for that. You talked about "Still in Love" being the biggest selling one on Apple. Sure enough, the top songs are "Can't You Stand the Rain" #1, "If It Isn't Love" #2, "There's a Telephone Man" #3, and then #4, "Still in Love." So, oh, what can I do, girl? So much in love, girl. Friends got you thinking, and it's affecting you. So first of all, I'm not gonna keep going. So basically, that video is Ricky and Ralph just in their total magnificence, just like doing their thing, going back and forth. The video ends on the SS Candy Girl. Like it's like, you know, it's just, yeah, I agree with you, Stevie. It is the centerpiece of the album. And even the and it's finally like the harmonies are back, that ooh, and even that in the video, still in love, like it's stacked. It's all like all the it's old school, new edition. Is it Can You Stand the Rain? No. But is it Can You Stand the Rain of the 90s? Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
And there's more in the album, but like that song was absolutely, to me, Hit Me Off was, sorry, Jay, Hit Me Off was cool. But then to me, Still in Love was like, oh, okay, we're back now, you know? And then from there, the third single had to bring it. And unfortunately, I don't think it did, because it was You Don't Have to Worry, you know? But I because they even performed this song on the American Music Awards that year or the very next year. So, nah, I think Still in Love is absolutely feels the white, crystalline, like celestial, heavenly vibe that Home Again should have been. And it was, yeah, and it's Jam and Lewis, you know, it's one of their best. So I absolutely will defend the honor of I'm Still in Love with You, but I'm loving that, you know,
it's a
we
split.
have various opinions on it.
Yeah. As you can know, yeah, and you could tell that it's split by the comments. You know, some people think it's an old track, but it's you know, definitely it's an amazing. I mean, just the songs I loved, you guys just threw in the bin as if it was nothing. So it's definitely split. But I think I just think at that point in time they could it being released as a second single, it didn't really do well for them. But we're now coming towards the home stretch. Miss J, thank you. The JD interlude.
I love it. This is he took us home to church. He took us to church on this one. Only like Johnny Gill can, you know. And like just he's thanking God for the group, and it's just so beautiful and emotional to me. Like sometimes I listen to the lyrics of this song and my #1 song on the album. There's another song on here like that makes me emotional. I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. I'm kind of a sensitive person, but Johnny all by himself, of course. Sometimes we just need Johnny all by himself, and it's just beautiful. Thanking God for him and his group and being together and being able to stand the test of time and come home again and do another album. So I really love that song and I appreciate it. I have nothing bad to say.
I think my biggest gripe with this song is that I think it should have been the last song and not Home Again. It felt like, okay, well done. He's thanking God, and well, it's just saying thank you. We were together, and I felt that was it. And I
Right.
felt you closed the CD, well done, great album, and then Home Again comes in, and
That's true.
so I think they could have flipped its position.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of 112 when they did their own version of "Thank You," the Puffy's "Thank You" song, and they're singing, and then that's before "Only You" on the 112 album. So it was really good. Um, and I think you just listen to Johnny and think, man, they got a man singing with boys in this
Right.
group. Because Johnny, he opens his mouth and it's like, whoa, goodness, you got to slow down. We just aren't at that level. But it was definitely really good about, and I guess it felt heartfelt when you listen to it and you think about where they've come from.
Right.
You know, with bit of Bobby in there, and what it's taken for them to come back together to record this album. And I think I just wish it was the last song on the album and just said closed it. That was my only gripe with it, but definitely loved it. And Johnny wrote and produced it, so he got his credit in that one as well. Stevie.
For me, it's just that's it. It should have been an interlude. We should have had this, and then the album ends there. It would have been a perfect ender, but no. We'll go into that next anyway. But an interlude, like you say, I didn't listen to it much. I'll be honest. It just said I don't really go for the interludes and interludes, but for me, the album could have ended there, and that's it. Good night, hasta la vida. But it wasn't to be, was it? We had to have a snooze fest at the end. We'll get to that.
Well, we'll get to that. Mr. Knight.
So my girlfriend at the time, like, she knows I was a big New Edition fan, whatever. But I remember being a hater of that track, and I'll tell you why. Because you already know that there is no way in hell on God's green earth that will ever sound like Johnny. She loved Johnny's voice on that song. Now I can try to hold a candle to Ricky or Ralph, but Johnny. And so when she was like, "Oh yeah, play that song again," I'll be like, So anyway, but that said, it's an amazing song, and I've actually even when that period of sleep where you're like waking up but you're not quite awake yet, and the music can form a dream in your brain. That song did that one time. I forget what it was, but it just felt very special and very like heavenly and epic. So it's a song that just tugs at your heart, man. So, or an interlude. Johnny's not in it, but yes, I was jealous of his voice.
So we've gone through all the songs, and we're getting down to the final one, Home Again. Jay, what did you think?
I guess I've been away too long. That song is beautiful. That song is so beautiful. I can't even talk about it right now. I'll start crying. Oh my God. Hold it back. I can't do it. That's how much I love this song.
Oh wow, she really is. I heard her voice crack. Damn. Okay. We can come back to you. Yeah, we should come back to her.
Nope, I can't, because I'm not gonna be able to talk about it. It's just so beautiful.
Okay. Wow.
I love it. See that?
Yeah, nah, it's real.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My gosh, get the crocodile tears. What's going on here? Hey, where is
I'm with her.
From?
I'm with her.
Do you know what? I think it's definitely one of those songs where you listen to the lyrics, and I think this is the excellence of Jam and Lewis, especially Terry Lewis, who's the songwriter. And I remember speaking to about how. Pardon? No. I was knocking, trying to remember. But he explained how Terry really, when he writes lyrics, or when he writes, "Can You Stand the Rain," and he goes deep into, sun, rain, and growth, and he really gets really deep in it. So this was just that perfect. Bobby says, I can't say this will last. I was like, how ironic. He's recording these.
Can't promise this time it'll last. That kind of bugged me, but
Yeah, I can't promise this it's gonna last. Almost as if you say, yeah, I'm gonna leave after this song. Kind of thing.
no, I won't promise. I won't
Yeah,
promise.
I won't promise. Yeah, he was pretty much saying, yeah, man, I'm out of here. So it was definitely one of. So you listen to it, and then when Mike is talking at the end, and then you have Johnny. Go ahead, Mike. Talk to them,
Yes.
and it's like almost. Oh goodness. And then I just when I saw the video of them
Performing
closing the
live?
show,
Yes.
performing live, and just how emotional it is when they're singing this song, and the realization that, man, we've been around for all this time, and we're back as a group, and if you feel it feels a genuine track. And when we do our list, it will be in one of my 5 tracks that I think they should have released as a single. But I just loved how they all had their stuff in there. I don't think we got any. Even Mike saying his stuff. Definitely a beautiful thing. Can You Stand the Rain? They just kind of ad-libbed that in there. Even Bobby sings it too. It's almost like, yeah, I wish I was on that original track. Beautiful song. Beautiful song. Stevie. I don't think we're going to get the same love as Stevie. And everyone's just commenting. I just love it.
LOL, Corey. Keep going. He's hating
I don't know. I think I better refrain on my opinion. I don't want to upset Jay anymore. She's upset. For me, it's just it's 6.5 minutes that I'll never get back. So I'll leave it at that. Leave it at that.
I've been away for much too long. I hope you still feel I belong. And then you keep going. Here go. And one more. I didn't mean to cause you pain. And then, of course, one more time. Nothing to lose, much more to gain. So can you stand the rain? Just when, anyway. So Bobby, Bobby comes in and he's just like, whatever. But no, check this out. I was walking, as I do, and I was playing the song in my headphones. And this is where I might get emotional if I let myself do it. But it is going to suck, even though it's inevitable. It's going to suck when they start passing away.
Okay, I can't even do that. Oh my god.
No, so when so I'm already imagining, like, let's say Bobby goes first, right?
Oh, God.
And then you listen to that song. It's gonna have more and more meaning. And as a matter of fact, I feel like if one of them goes, that song will absolutely be added back to the set, because that song is about their story. And and when you listen to that, like at the end, like the way it just, like, for me, it was a perfect album closer. Look at the goosebumps. Like the way that song ends and just fades off. It reminds me of watching, sorry, whoever hated on Heartbreak. Like when I watched the end of that concert and watch them go down the stairs, and it's just like it's the end of the concert. Endings are beautiful too. So because it makes you realize and feel fortunate that you got a chance to experience what you just experienced. So no, to me, Home Again is an underrated gem that's only going to get more golden as time moves on, because we are lucky right now to have all 6 still here with us. Mm-hmm. And that's real talk.
Yeah. I think
you got your hands in the air ballad at the end. You got the whole hands in the air. Let's all cry. There,
someone said it's not time to be morbid. Sorry, y'all. I had to keep it real.
And I think without saying, I think if you do listen to the song, you do think about. It does give you that sense of, man, we can't believe we're here. And even though I don't know if you've been on the Legacy or Culture Tour or their new Vegas Residency, whether they sing the song anymore, Andrew. I know you've been on the last 3 concerts. Have they sang
Oh
it?
yeah. They sang the "I'll Be Around." Is that what you're talking about?
No, no, Home Again. Have they sang it
The
over the
last time
last?
they sang it was 2012, and they
Wow.
actually closed the show. Those are good shows, by the way. I saw them in 2012. It was New Year's Day. It was so dope. New Year's Day 2012. And you can find that on YouTube. Sorry, Heartbreak haters. They actually have a whole Heartbreak set where they open it up. They had Crucial, You're No Kind of Girl, Any Heartbreak, all in a row, and then Can You Stand the Rain. But they end with Home Again. They're all sitting on stools, all 6 of them, and it's all love. And
This is funny.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, man. Anyways,
I remember when I heard
Home Again. I
Home
called out a
Again. I
bird.
called
Yo,
out.
yeah. But yeah, they performed it live, but it was over 10 years ago.
Yeah, booking a ticket. I do think it's yeah. I think this is the power of Jam and Lewis. They were the only ones to capture all 6 vocalists, when they were in their songs, and they did it well. And I think, yeah, it's strange that we spoke about, if one of them passes, then this would be the tribute song. But no, I think it was a perfect song to say, we're thankful that we're here, and we're thankful for one another. And I'm glad they recorded it. And as I said, definitely a touching song. I think if you do watch the 2012 version, Bobby says, "I'm here to stay.
Yes,
I'm back. I'm
for
not
sure.
going anywhere."
And I promise this time it'll last.
It
That's
will.
what he said.
Oh, he did say that. He changed it.
And
He
I
changed it.
promise this time. I can't do it, but it'll last. Anyway, sorry guys. But anyways, you're like, David Andrew, stop singing. But anyway, but yeah, no, and I promise this time it'll last. And that's good. It's growth. We're all human, man. So
Yeah.
The movie should have played the song. I don't recall their movie playing the song.
no. Ralph, I saw a video, I saw an interview, and Ralph was like, "We should have done it should have been longer. Like I think we did a lot." He said that got left on the cutting room floor. He said there were even characters that were combined into one person just to tell the story. But he was like, "We should have made a Netflix series. Like it should have been like a whole 8 or 9 episodes. Like we could have. There's enough there." So I believe him.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to this final section of the show where, I will start over you with Miss J. If you were to A&R this album and you were to pick the first single, second, third, fourth, and the final 5th single, which would have been your first single that you released? No, you do all 5. Just tell us which would have been the 5 singles you released, in what order.
Would have been Something About You.
Well, that would have been the first single you released.
My first single, I would have kept it as Hit Me Off, actually.
Okay.
Hit Me Off would have stayed the first single. And
what would have been the second single?
I loved it. Shop Around.
Shop Around would be your second single, okay.
Yes. And
the third one?
The third one, Something About You.
Okay.
I love Something About You. And then
the 4th single?
Still in Love.
Okay.
And
your final single?
I love Home Again.
Okay.
Because it tells their story. So.
Okay. So I think for me, especially, I think I needed to start it off with a song that captured all 6 of them. I think "Oh Yeah, Feels So Good" was probably, and a visual of all 6 of them just almost coming, being discovered, different parts of the world, like the Transformers, and coming back, and the whole stage, everyone's just there and they're doing their routines. And I think Andrew just played a remix version, which I know they could have just done a dope beat for them to we're back. I think that would have been an amazing one. Despite objections from half of us in this group, "Hear Me Out" would have been the second single. I think it would have killed on radio. It would just be one of those "Do you mind if I stroke you up?" That kind of vibe would have just been on the radios continuously. I really did love "You Don't Have to Worry." I think that would have been a good one. then I would have done tight it up, and then I would have closed the album with Home Again, and I would have, just pretty much, I would have, in a way, filmed the different, because they would have been on tour, and so they would have just almost at the end of the night, this would have been, they're almost like not my kind of girl type of stuff, but very much live footage of them singing it, and that would have been like the 5 singles. It would have been like, yep, catch out the tour. Stevie, what would be your, how would you release it?
So the original 5 that were released were "Hit Me Off," "You Don't Have to Worry." Was "Something About You" a single?
No, it was It was a B-side.
Right. So the original release singles were "Hit Me Off," "You Don't Have to Worry," "One More Day," and "I'm Still in Love with You." Was that 4? Was there any more?
No, that was the 5.
What was the 5th one then?
So it was "Hit Me Off," "I'm Still in Love with You," "You Don't Have to Worry," "Something About You," and "One More Day."
Well, all right. I'll make it very easy. I would erase "Something About You" and change that for "Shop Around," and I'm quite happy to keep the rest.
As it was?
Yeah, because they were good singles, them other 4. I changed "Something About You" for "Shop Around."
Yeah. Unfortunately, those singles didn't really help the album do more than it should have done. Mr. Knight, I think, yep, you got.
All right. So, number 1, first single, I would have kept it as "Hit Me Off."
Okay.
Second single, number 2, I would have kept it as "I'm Still in Love with You." This is where it changes. Third single, yes, it is the concert video. It is absolutely, oh yeah, it feels so good. Now, after that concert extravaganza, you have to be very selective about what's next. So depending on how it was received, let's say it was received well. Believe it or not, I would probably go "Shop Around." And I would go "Shop Around" because it's different and it's current. After that, I might, you know what? Screw that. I'm gonna go with the original. So after "Oh Yeah, It Feels So Good," sorry guys, "One More Day." After that, "Something About You," and that's like the singles run. But there's a victory lap. Sorry guys, there's a victory lap, and the victory lap is then "You Don't Have to Worry" and "Shop Around" as a double A side. That's the victory lap if we're kicking ass. And then if those ones do well, we finally round it out with "Home Again." So we're talking like a Rhythm Nation level run of like 7, 8 singles. That's how I make it a 10 million platinum album. Remixes coming out the pores. Like, it's like, that's how you do it. But sorry, guys, I just had to get past it. It's funny how I changed my mind midstream. I was like, at that, be yourself. So that's what happened there. Yeah.
There's 2 tracks there I've got problems with, and that is the time length. Both of them were 6.5 minutes long. They wouldn't have played that long on a radio. It would have needed radio edits.
Yes, 1,000%. Like I said, remixes. You
could
got to
condense. Could you have condensed those 6.5 minute tracks into like 3.5 minute tracks for radio?
It feels so good. I think could have been condensed. You have to chop. Yeah, you'd have to chop some stuff around. Like you'd have to, but you could. Yeah, I think you could.
Yeah, even "Hear Me Out," they could have. There parts where they could have cut and edited. It's easy. They would have been able to edit it out. It would have been easier to edit out. I think
I'd have shown you the door for "Hear Me Out." I'd have shown you the door. Sorry,
as I said, when you think of songs like "Stroke You Up," it would have just been a hit. But as I said, I was disappointed with, and I don't know if it has to do with, we know now that Bobby wasn't really in a good space during that time, and I wonder how much that had an impact on the promotion of the album and the group. If you think about the story that Chucky told when they were that Saturday Night Live special where they sang "You Don't Have to Worry" and "One More Day," that Whitney was saying, you better just focus on Bobby and really so you could see what was happening, even how Bowie performed. So we don't know how much of that disrupted the plans with MCA. And maybe when when he dropped out, they just said, we just can't continue promoting this. I don't know, but on reflection, I can imagine that's why it just fizzled out. The album fizzled out.
1,000%. Like they absolutely they basically, I think MCA, they don't care about the music. All they care about is making money. So for them, it was just kind of like, okay, if these guys can't get their act together, let's just like move on to the next thing, like, so they literally just dropped New Edition like a hot potato. But then they're like, we're still on the hook for this contract. I think I had like a MCA. I think there was a contract that was still kind of bad, and they had to put out all those compilations just to like get out of their contract with MCA. But I'm looking at my list, and my list is not Bobby centric. It's like literally the first 5 will hit me off. And oh yeah, it feels so good, have Bobby, but Still in Love, One More Day, and Something About You. Those are all Jamin Lewis, and they're not Bobby centric. And I feel like the Victory Lap, you don't have to worry and shop around with have Bobby in them. It's like that's assuming Bobby's still with them. But if he had left, no harm, no foul. It's crazy to me that personalities do kind of matter. Like it does matter whether or not people get along. Because if they don't get along, it doesn't matter how much money's involved. They'll just kind of sabotage their own careers. It's sad. Namdi, I think that's 1,000% what happened, and it's a tragedy. And if I was an A&R, not only would I have cared about the business, I would have cared about like the people involved. And I know Brooke is the one person they all respect. Brooke is the reason why we have the residency. Brooke is the reason why we have the Legacy Tour and the Culture Tour. And he's the one guy that can say, hey, y'all need to just chill, and they'll listen. And it's crazy, but profound that all it takes is one person to bring everyone together. God bless Brooke. Hey, Brooke, if you're listening, we love you, and thank you for existing and giving them their dope steps and being the heart and soul of this group that we're gathered around to celebrate New Edition. And I will now try to shut up for the rest of the time.
No. It's been a great episode. What did you guys make of the album cover though? Jay, I'll start with you, then Stevie, and then what did you make of it? Do you think it was good enough, or do you think it could have been better, or what?
Well, I loved it, but it's New Edition. I was just happy. Bobby's attitude was right there. I loved it. I loved seeing them in their white outfits and suits, and it was beautiful inside. I loved everything about this.
Okay. Yeah. Stevie, what did you make of the album cover for a '96 release?
I'm just a bit concerned about that polar bear that's dead on the floor. Polar bear. Look. A polar bear, that.
Polar bear?
Yes. He's like yeah.
Did they ship that in from the Antarctic or something, especially for the album cover? I don't know. They look pretty slick. They look like they're going to an all white party on a cruise or something.
Andrew's going too.
Yeah. Not a Diddy party, but yeah. But what did you make of it, Andrew?
Just like I decided glasses, no glasses. I want no glasses. No, I remember the feeling. I think I told this story before. I went to a record store on a Monday. Albums came out on Tuesdays, and I begged the record guy, like, can I just at least look at the CD? Because I'm with you, Jay. I'm like, I'm so excited that New Edition is back. I just want to know what it looks like, So he gives me the jewel case. I'm looking at it in the wrapper, and he's like, "Do you want it? You'll give it to me a day early? Yeah. Just don't tell anybody." Yes. And I remember just going in, looking in. The back cover is also cool too. No, it was divine. Sorry. It just felt divine. So, it's like at first when you asked, I was like, it was cool. But then when you look at all the other artwork that came around or during that era, like, I think this is the best one. It's classic, divine, black and white. And even the red. I think they knocked it out of the park.
You think it's better than Any Heartbreak album cover?
Any Heartbreak album is more iconic. Apparently, someone in the comments hates that we keep talking about the Dab album, but no, I think Any Heartbreak is completely untouchable. That said, this is still one of the classiest looking albums of the 90s, for sure, if not the classiest, in my opinion.
I think for me, I think they should have lent in on the ISP, which is them on stage. I would have loved to have seen. So the Hit Me Off album cover, the kind of I would have preferred something like that, with them all sitting, on the chair, but then backing the chairs.
Oh,
I think
the back of the album.
I would have had them
Yeah.
sitting on their chair, but we only see the back of them and we just see their names. I would have thought that would have been a much better album cover than them all squeezing on a sofa around a table. It reminds me of back in the day, you'd have people posing and they'll be squatting down like behind a car kind of thing. It just felt like they just sitting around a table, and I'm like, it's not cool. I would have loved. I said, Hit Me Off cover was probably it would have been classic. We don't need, just that's why I love the Bobby album. That kind of way, I don't see his face; he's just an attitude. I think the Hit Me Off cover would have been a much better album cover. Yeah, but with them sitting on the chairs with their names on it, I think that would have been much better. Like while they're back, or even I think that would have been a better one.
But they still gave it to us.
Yeah. So I think that would have been a better album cover than this one. Just my opinion. I think But I was working at Best Buy when this album came out. I bought the same day with Another Level, and I was excited. And Stevie, I think before you started, I said that musically, I think it was a better album than Another Level, but it didn't have the consistent hits that Another Level had that made it go, that blew up. But I think this one, if I listen to the two of them, I think I can listen to this a lot more. But it just didn't have the one or two big tracks that just took Another Level to that tripled its size in sales. But anyway, it's been good. So I hope you guys, Rascal78, we appreciate you. Big O2K, New Edition Edits 6716617. Everyone who's commented, we really appreciate you being part of the show, and Mac, and everyone that's been part of it. It's been really exciting that you guys were able to join us as we celebrate this this classic album. It's a pity that this is the only New Edition album that has all six of them. I think we'll struggle when we talk about the One Love album, but it has to be said, it will happen. But I also, hopefully, the three of you enjoyed tonight's episode. Miss J, I know you were a little emotional when we talked about Home Again, but how did you find it?
The entire album and to discuss it.
What we did today, yeah.
It was wonderful. I'm a New Edition lover, so anything to express New Edition, I'm happy to hear about it, be a part of it, be there, So I'm happy to be here discussing New Edition. They're one of my favorites on the planet.
Stevie,
I think you deserve an award this evening, Namdi, for getting, every time you get a woman on the halftime chat show, at some point she breaks down crying. So that's 100% hit rate. You deserve an award this evening for that achievement. I'm just joking. But yeah, another great episode, and a lot of New Edition fans tuned in tonight around the world, and we've all shared this moment together. Yeah, so yeah, and I would say is, have New Edition got one more album in them? Will we see that one more album?
I hope so.
Putting that out there.
Well, if you think of Johnny Gill, his release is still recording stuff, and Ralph is. So I think they still, but it's. I think it's whether they did think about it, but anyway, I would say that when Andrew talked about Home Again, and when one of them passes away, I think you kind of made us all a little teary when you dropped that little bombshell kind of thing there. But anyway, I did appreciate this album because I've loved the album. I've never really had the opportunity to talk about it, so definitely it was good. But Andrew, finally for you, I mean, just thoughts about doing this today.
I'm very guarded about like what I choose to experience because I remember things and I want to protect like my emotions around the Home Again album. And I am proud to say and happy to say and grateful to say that adding this experience to Home Again has been a joy just to hear everyone's different opinions. Jay, I think that you just made me love Home Again, the song, even more, just knowing it was that powerful for you. And then being able to see like all the comments and all just being joining us, like music brings people together. Like, so this was fun. This was really fun and really meaningful. New Edit 617. You already know, like you're here. I love it. So yeah, this was great. So thank you all for being part of this. Namzi, Stevie, for like having this podcast in the first place. This was fun. A lot of fun.
Okay, guys. So we there's the Valentine's special with Babyface. There's the Mary Gratitude album, and there's some others coming through. So at least every weekend there'll be a live stream and stuff. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the show, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.